Hey guys, it's rare. I almost never talk in my videos now, but this one is really special because I'm very glad to say that Arteza, I think it's Arteza, they were kind enough to send me some of their stationery, like specifically brush markers and pens for me to review. And so in this video I'm gonna start with swatching them, and then I will maybe do a couple spreads later on and come back and do a final review. But I'm gonna start with swatches, first impression, trying out the blending and stuff like that. So first, I was sent these twin markers. They also sell brush markers, but these were specifically recommended to me by the company because it's good for watercolor and journaling. So I'm gonna swatch these. And then I was also sent these fineliners, 0.4mm fineliners. I'll swatch these as well, but these I'll probably just write hello 48 times. But with the brush markers, I'm gonna letter the names of the colors so that we can also see how they work with different letters and stuff like that. Let's start with the brush markers, and I'm gonna be lettering all of these in my bullet journal. Hopefully I don't run out of space. I'm almost done with this, but I think I have enough space to last me until the end of March. If not, then I'm prepared. I have another notebook ready. Okay, so the colors are on the back, and these are in little trays, and I've never used these before. I just took the plastic off, the shrink wrap. I'll just take all the trays out, I think. Okay. That way I can see the colors, and they all have numbers, but actually the markers and the fine liners, they don't have the same numbers and same colors. For example, peach here, I don't know if you can see, but peach for the brush pens is A119 and peach for the fine liners is A116, so they're not exactly the same, and I'm not exactly sure how their numbering system works, which is why I'm gonna letter the colors, the color names. I'll just go in this order. This Tombow Fudenosuke, the soft tip, and I'll just do a little title Arteza swatches or something like this. Okay, let's start with this one. This is A130 neon yellow. Oh, they're not in the same order as on the box. I'll just go in the order of the trays then. This is A130 neon yellow, and you can see on one side they have a really fine tip nib, and this side has the brush nib, what I'm interested in mostly. Looking at the tip size, I think it's similar to it's smaller than Tombow's. Here's an example. These are really big compared to the Arteza ones. Even the zebra brush pens are they're kind of in the middle. So you can see these are small, and I kind of think it's good because you can do more small lettering, more if you don't want to make huge titles. Because I think for journaling, a lot of my titles end up really big because I use Tombow's. I'll zoom you guys in for this. A very bright color. But my first impression after just writing these two words is that definitely they're bigger than these Tombow pens. I would probably need to write more 3 squares tall, so 1.5 centimeters tall. They're pretty soft. When you do your upstroke, you can't make it super thin like you can with some other pens. Well, maybe I'm just not used to it because it's a brand new pen. But let's try the next color. It's sapphire yellow. Oh, that's a long word. This one felt a little bit harder than it. A lot of pens do that where different colors feel slightly different. It's not a bad thing, I'm just saying. This one is peach and it's pretty short, so I'll like put in one of these spaces. Finishing this first tray of 12, I think the nibs, they're pretty good. They're kind of hard and they're not like super bouncy. After a while they kind of feel like they're bent and like, I don't know if this one you can see it, but see how it's pointing a little bit up because I was writing like this. And so at the end, like some of the upstrokes get like fatter because it's not like going back to its pointy shape. It's like staying bent in like my downstroke shape. In that case, like they're not super great, but definitely like pretty good for lettering. And like I was saying, the size I really like. They have a lot of colors, like 48. I think this set retails for, let's say $30 for 48 colors. Like it's a great deal. Anyway, so first tray done. Next tray. This is the pointy thing I was talking about, where see it looks like it's kind of bent at the end. So you can see here, like the ruby red is a little bit softer than the rose red, which is why it looks bigger. So I'm not sure exactly like which colors are softer, fatter, like right bigger than others. Just letting you guys know. Okay, halfway done. So far, I really like the color selection. Some of the pinks, I don't know if they look really different on camera, but they're definitely pretty similar, especially these two. But this one's lighter and more neon-ish. I don't know. And I do wish there were more reds because there are so many like yellows and oranges and pinks. Red and purple's kind of just this, so kind of wish there were more reds and purples because I like those colors. But the next two trays are, oh wait, there's some purples, but the next two trays are mostly green and blue. So this page will be our cool color page. tray, done. Finally finished swatching all the colors. The right page, the order are kind of weird because I thought I would run out of space. I tried to like squeeze them in up here, and then now, you know what, it's fine. Yeah, overall I really like the color selection. I like the darker like off black colors, and yeah, there's a lot of colors definitely. I would recommend writing a little bit bigger than I have been. I was just like really worried about running out of space. Yeah, the nibs are not very bouncy. It's not as easy to get like thick downstrokes and thin upstrokes. Let me give you an example. I'll just use their black color. I'll just do a practice thing. So down, up. You can see it gets thicker here. Whereas if you use a Tombow, for example, even though they're bigger, here. You can see how they bounce back, so they're really thin for the upstroke, but the Artezas, they stay in that bent shape here, so it's harder to get thin upstrokes, especially if you're writing this small. So definitely if you just want to do like some simple lettering, then these are really good because the price point is great and there are a lot of colors, so you can play around. But if you want to get more like really into lettering and do a lot of like fancy decorations, which I don't do but I know some people do, then maybe you can try other pens like Tombow, which is why they're more expensive, the Tombows. But I do like these colors, and I'm of course very thankful that they were sent to me. I'll like try to use them more and let you guys know what I think as I use them. So that's it for the brush pens. So now they're all in the box. It fit really easily, and it's nice that there are trays and they're by color family, like I was saying, how like the first two are warm and the bottom two are cool. So now let's do the fineliners. So this one, the case is like a box. It opens like this, and then you have two trays. So I'm gonna take both of them out again because the color names are, oops, on the back. They're here, all the colors. I think I'm gonna actually just write the colors out as well, just so that we can compare like the names of the different colors. I'll say fineliner swatches. Also, these are called like the inkonic and 0.4, like I said before. These are really thin, so I don't know how well you can see it when I'm writing out words, but I think it should be okay. These colors are just really bright. zoom out since they all fit right here. Final thoughts, I really like the color selection always. There's a lot of colors and they're really good, like, you know, they were juicy, not dry. Kind of remind me of the Stedler fine liners. This time I kind of like the color selection of these 48 slightly better than these, the brush pens, because the brush pens, it feels like there's a lot of yellow and orange, right? Because there's some over here, and chartreuse green is like a yellowy green, and a lot of pinks that kind of all look the same to me. But then I feel like here it's more limited, so there are more of these like purpley blue colors, a lot of different kinds of greens, like blue greens, yellow greens over here. So I really like these colors. I'm not like a super big fine liner person, so I can't really like give good opinions. I'm not like educated. So far I really like them, and again I'll try to use them more and let you guys know. After a couple spreads I'll come back, tell you guys what I think. I'll see you guys soon. Okay, I'm back after about a week of trying out these Arteza markers, and so far, okay, I actually haven't really tried the fine liners that much, but like in general I'm not really a fine liner person, and just from the swatches, like the colors are nice, the nibs are nice, everything feels pretty good. So I really wanted to concentrate on the brush pens because I feel like that's where you get the more like variation between different kinds of brush pens. And so I did a couple spreads, and if you haven't seen them on my Instagram, I'm gonna show you now. Let's see, I did this one for Moonbule's comeback, solo comeback. So this was using 3 markers, I don't know if you can see it, but 2 blue ones and a gray one for the shadow. And so I wanted to use the markers for this one because the title is really long, and since these have smaller nibs, like I was saying before, they're much shorter than a tombow. You can see the size difference. So they letter a lot smaller, and since this title has a lot of words, 5 words, I wanted a smaller pen so I can fit more words into like a little area, because I know if I did the same lettering with a tombow, I would have to do about 3 lines, like dark side of the moon or something like that, to make it all fit together. And they blend really well, so I think they were pretty good. It was just hard to do some of the upstrokes, so I had to letter like really slowly to make sure I got my upstrokes like nice and thin, like I usually like to have them. So I also did this one. Yeah, it's the same. They blend pretty well, but the upstroke was not like the best. You can see in my A's, the upstroke is like kind of fat. Because I'm used to like the really bouncy tombow ones. Let me see, I think that's it in this notebook. Yeah, what I found to be really useful was to letter with my tombows, but then use the Arteza color selection to add more blending. So you can see this one, I lettered it with a tombow, but because I didn't have the specific red I wanted to do the gradient, my red is like, I have reds that lean more orange and reds that lean more pink, but I wanted like a more blackish red, so I used an Arteza to do the darker red on top. I don't know how well it shows on camera. I would use that and then blend it out with a tombow. So they work really well together because they're both water based. This way I felt more comfortable because I'm more used to using my tombows, but I could like take advantage of the wide color selection for the Artezas, especially at the price point. In conclusion, I think they're really good, and it's also good for beginners if you're still like experimenting and you don't know like if you really want to do lettering. You can practice a lot with these. Thank you to Arteza for sending me these twin markers to try out. Thanks for watching, and I have another review coming up soon, so stay tuned for that.